Taehyung panicked when Jungkook started street racing with his sport motorcycle. Jungkook, Taehyung's husband, had just uploaded a video of himself racing illegally on the streets in the middle of the night to his social media, which instantly made Taehyung panic. It was known that their relationship had not been in a good state lately, especially because Taehyung felt jealous of Jimin. Jungkook sped up his motorcycle at a very high speed while playing the song Hooligan from their latest album. Taehyung was afraid that something bad might happen to his husband because of the dangerous street race. Even though he was angry, he still felt panic and fear at the thought of something happening to his partner. Taehyung loves Jungkook deeply in a way that feels different from ordinary love. To those haters who say that I am lying, I only want to share my happiness with all of you. I have never tried to damage the great names of Taehyung and Jungkook. I truly care about both of them. If you do not like what I share, I sincerely apologize. Watch the continuation of this video and don't miss it. Before we start, make sure you are ready to love these moments. Welcome to K-pop Update. The blue light from the phone screen reflected on Taehyung's face, which had initially been tense with anger, but instantly turned pale when a notification appeared at the top of his social media feed. His heart seemed to stop beating for a few seconds when he saw the latest post from his husband, Jungkook, showing a short amateur video recording that felt deeply unsettling. Beneath the dim glow of nearly dying streetlights, Jungkook was seen preparing on his gleaming black sport motorcycle, surrounded by the deafening roar of engines. Taehyung felt his fingers tremble violently as he pressed the play button on the video, watching his husband wearing a black leather jacket he knew all too well. The atmosphere in the video felt chaotic and wild, far from the calm image they usually maintained in public, especially in the dead of night like this. He knew very well that Jungkook was participating in an illegal street race, a reckless act that the man usually did when his mind was troubled and his soul felt cornered. Their relationship had indeed reached its lowest point over the past few days, triggered by Taehyung's uncontrollable jealousy toward Jungkook's closeness with Jimin. A fierce argument had erupted between them, leaving behind sharp words and suffocating silence in every corner of the luxurious house that was usually warm and comforting. Taehyung felt ignored while Jungkook felt mistrusted, creating a wide gap that seemed impossible to cross with a simple apology. In the video, the roar of Jungkook's sport motorcycle thundered loudly, slicing through the silence of the night and sending adrenaline rushing through anyone who heard it directly. But for Taehyung, the sound felt like a death bell, threatening the life of the person he loved most in the world. Through the small screen, he could see Jungkook twisting the throttle harshly, a sign that his emotions were unstable and that he was venting all his frustration onto the cold asphalt track. What made Taehyung's spine shiver was the background music faintly but clearly heard through the earphones Jungkook was wearing, the song Hooligan from their own latest album. The intense rhythm and rebellious lyrics seemed to merge with the motorcycle's speed, now shooting forward like an arrow released from a bow. That song was supposed to symbolize their career success, yet, at a moment like this, the melody sounded tragically painful to Taehyung's ears. Taehyung immediately stood up from the sofa, ignoring the heartbreak that had previously overwhelmed him. Because now, the fear of losing someone dominated his soul far more. He ran toward the large window in their apartment, staring at the quiet streets of Seoul, as if hoping to see a glimpse of Jungkook's motorcycle lights from afar. His mind was filled with terrifying possibilities about what might happen if the tire slipped or if Jungkook lost control on a sharp turn at such extreme speed. Even though he was still furious and felt betrayed by jealousy, Taehyung's love for Jungkook was the kind of love that defied logic. He could curse Jungkook for his childish behavior, yet at the same time, he was willing to give his own life as long as his husband returned home safely. The fear of death looming over Jungkook made his jealousy toward Jimin instantly fade, replaced by sincere prayers that nothing bad would happen. He tried calling Jungkook's phone number repeatedly, but only the operator's voice responded, pushing his panic to the edge. Every passing second felt like an hour to Taehyung, who now paced back and forth in the living room with hurried breaths and tears beginning to gather. He knew Jungkook was a skilled rider, but illegal racing on public roads while emotionally unstable was the perfect recipe for an unavoidable disaster. In his mind, Taehyung kept picturing Jungkook's face during their happy moments, a stark contrast to the reckless figure now risking his life on the streets. He regretted letting his ego take control until they ended up fighting before Jungkook left the house that night. If only he could turn back time, he would rather swallow his jealousy than watch his husband seek such an extreme and dangerous escape. The song Hooligan kept echoing in his head as if becoming the soundtrack to his deepest fear now unfolding somewhere out there. The speed Jungkook chased was not merely about numbers on the speedometer, but about how much pain he was trying to forget through the rushing wind hitting his body. Taehyung collapsed behind the front door, hugging his knees tightly, feeling utterly powerless because he could not stop the madness his soulmate was committing. He realized that his love for Jungkook was both a beautiful and painful obsession, one in which he could not imagine living without that man's presence. Unlike ordinary love that might give up when hurt, Taehyung held on to his affection even tighter in the middle of the storm they were facing. This panic was clear proof that no matter how sharp his anger was, it would never be strong enough to defeat his fear of losing Jungkook. Taehyung then remembered how Jungkook always said that speed was the only way for him to feel free from the pressure of the world closing in on him. But for Taehyung, Jungkook's freedom this time felt like a death sentence for the one waiting anxiously at home. He began typing a message with trembling hands, begging Jungkook to stop and come home, promising that he would not argue about anything anymore as long as they could be together again. His phone screen lit up again, showing comments from netizens, most of whom felt terrified watching the illegal race, which only worsened Taehyung's mental state. He felt like screaming at the world to stop watching and instead help stop his husband before it was too late. In the haunting silence of the night, the ticking sound of the wall clock felt like a terrifying countdown for the man overwhelmed by fear. Their love was indeed complicated, full of emotional ups and downs that outsiders might never fully understand, yet at its core remained a deep and sincere affection. Taehyung knew he loved Jungkook deeply beyond the status of husband or co-worker, but as an inseparable part of his soul. Because of that, his anger over the issue involving Jimin now felt like nothing more than dust compared to the storm of panic crashing against his chest. He finally decided to grab his car keys, determined to search for the location shown in the video. Even though he did not know exactly where it was, he had only one hope: to be there to hold Jungkook and to make sure that the man was not alone in facing his overwhelming anger. With hurried steps and a heart filled with prayers, Taehyung left their apartment, racing against time to save the love of his life from the danger he had created himself. That night became proof of how fragile Taehyung was when faced with the possibility of losing his husband, showing that true love would always triumph over ego and anger. Behind the wheel, he kept whispering Jungkook's name, hoping his husband could somehow feel his presence and slow down for the sake of a safe return. For him, nothing mattered more at that moment than seeing Jungkook step off that sport motorcycle without a single injury and return once again into his warm embrace. Aside from the story narrative, it is also important for you as a creator to deliver a sincere message to your audience. Here is an additional narration or statement you can use to respond to haters with calmness and an open heart. Amid my enthusiasm in sharing what I know with all of you through this story, there is a sense of care and affection, yet also sadness when I hear accusations that I am lying or have bad intentions. I want to emphasize that every word I write here is born from happiness that I wish to share with all of you, without any intention whatsoever to hurt anyone's feelings. For me, creativity is a bridge to express admiration, and it has never crossed my mind to tarnish the great names of Taehyung or Jungkook, whom I deeply respect. I truly care about both of them sincerely, and all of these narratives are simply a form of support and love from a fan toward their idols within a beautiful fictional world. If anything I have shared feels uncomfortable or does not align with your personal views, I sincerely apologize from the bottom of my heart. I hope our community remains a warm place where we can share happiness with one another because, in the end, we are all here for the same reason: our deep love and admiration for them. Leave your positive comments here. The best comment will be pinned as a way to honor their love. Thank you to everyone who continues to support this channel. May God reward all of your kindness. This video reflects my personal opinion and interpretation. It is made for entertainment purposes only and does not represent confirmed facts.